All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our Community Wildfire Preparedness and Mitigation webinar. My name is Kara Garrett, and I will be the moderator of this series. The webinar itself will last about 30 minutes, and the whole thing will be recorded. So if you're not okay with being on this recording, you can jump off. We will be recording this whole thing and uploading it to YouTube right after the presentation concludes. Please type any questions that you may have during the whole webinar through the Q&A portion of the Zoom features, and we will answer them as quickly as possible. After our featured speaker has completed their presentation, we will be holding a question and answer session. And if you have questions after the webinar concludes, we will be providing contact information for the program itself to allow you to reach out directly. All webinar documentation, including the PDF of the PowerPoint recording of this webinar, and all other related documentation and information on future webinars will be housed on our website, located in the chat link that I have put in there. Should you encounter any issues, please do not hesitate to contact me. My phone number is 916-201-5539, and my email address is also in that chat. Today's webinar will focus on our California Incident Data and Statistics Program, otherwise known as CalStats. And to get us started, I will have Acting State Fire Marshal and Deputy Director of our Community Wildfire Preparedness and Mitigation Program, Daniel Berlant, say a few words. So go ahead and take it away, Chief.
Great. Thank you, Karen, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to join us on this important topic and our continuing webinar series. As we work to preventing these large and damaging wildfires and really all emergencies as we mitigate them, such an important part of that is the data that we have to really understand where the problem is, what the problem is, and even what the root cause of those problems are. And we cannot do that without data. We are such a data-driven society now, and there are tools made available to us to help us analyze that data. And so this program in particular does not get the highlights that some of our other prevention programs get, but it is so critical for us to know how we solve our fire problem here in California. And so I'm so excited that you were able to take the time this morning, and I'm just going to turn it right over to the staff so we can keep on going and start all learning some stuff.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chief. So now I will turn it over to our presenter, Deputy Chief Moreland, to introduce himself and share more information. So go ahead, Chief.
Well, thank you, and good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here and give you a little insight on CalStats and our program. If you could go to the next slide. So CalStats is the statewide emergency incident data collection program that does analyze and distributes information reported by the fire departments throughout the state and for CAL FIRE. And to bring it home and give you an insight on something that you may know is, if you're a sports fan like myself and a football fan, there are individuals that work for professional sports teams that do take on data and data collection in form of stats, and they collect these throughout the year. So if you're a big fantasy football fan or just watching sports in general, you watch and look at the stats that they're collecting, for example, fumbles, interceptions, and receptions in a football game, and they're collecting that data, and they are using this data for the media, and they're also using this data and collecting it for an annual program that they can show and showcase for the media. And so it's a little bit just like what we do in collecting data. Carrie, if you can go to the next slide. And so not only do we do this for CAL FIRE, but we also do this for the National Fire Incident Reporting System, which is also NFIRS. And we do this for each fire department in California on behalf of the U.S. Fire Administration and FEMA. Now, NFIRS is the world's largest national and annual database for fire incident information. For CAL FIRE, we use CalFIRS, which is the CAL FIRE Incident Reporting System. And by doing this, we're complying with the Health and Safety Code 13.110.5 to provide fire department data and information to the fire community as a resource for the public. Next. So getting the data, how do we get this and how does it relate to you? So imagine and visualize a fire department responding to an incident. They're on their fire engine or on their fire truck, and they're responding to a medical emergency or going out to assist the public or going to that house fire or going to save that cat out of the tree. As they're responding to that incident, they are collecting data in their mind, and as they get there, they gather that information, and they're going to take that back to the firehouse or that fire station, and they're going to enter that data that they've collected from that scene into a incident reporting system. That firefighter will include data such as a location, the date, type of incident, a cause, the equipment used, if it was a fire, what burned, how it happened, and why it occurred. Next. So what happens to this data that the fire department collects? Well, the fire department data for California goes to the NFIRS program at a federal level, and it's to report a full range of our activities, from fire to EMS to severe weather and natural disasters. So as all of us here in California know, we're getting a lot of rain, getting a lot of snow. So we are collecting data on this as we respond to emergencies to this day. The fire reports and stats and dashboards that we use does tell a story of what we do, and tells a story of the fire department and what they're responding to. This information is sent, like I said, to a national database in Washington, D.C., of course, and again, that's the NFIRS database. And this information can be used by fire departments, the public, grant writers, and state and federal legislators, and even students out there that need this data for reports. Next. So as a member of the public, you have a right to this information. So how do you get the report? You can go to the California Public Records Act, or I'm sorry, you can create a California Public Records Act request. And you can do this by visiting our CAL FIRE Public Records Center website for a link to the GovQA portal to make that request. And the California Public Records Act does require that government records be disclosed to the public upon request, unless there's a privacy or public safety exemptions, which would prevent doing so. So this website does allow you to access that information. Next. So what information is needed to make a copy of that request for the report? We do require that you at least have the incident date and address. And then if you could have the name of the responding fire department, if you know that, and then an incident number, which is you can get from fire personnel at scene if you were there, or from your local dispatch center or the dispatch center of that fire department. Next. So the benefits of NFIRS and reporting data, emergency incident data can be queried at a local, county, state, or federal level. And fire departments use this to show casualty information, department activity, and justify budgets and with summary and statistical data. This can be analyzed. This can analyze severity and reach of the fire problem. It can develop public education campaigns, make recommendations for codes and standards, determine consumer product failures, identify the focus for research efforts, and support legislation, like I said before. Next. Now the Redbook, as I touched before about sports, if you were that sports team again, and you take all those that data and those stats that you collect throughout the season or throughout the year, you would put that data into a media guide that the public and the media can use to serve their purpose. Well, we do kind of the same thing with our Redbook. And our Redbook is the CAL FIRE's annual report on state responsibility area of wildland fire activity. You can find this on the CalStats public website. We've been collecting this data since 1943, and it requires all wildland fires in SRA to be documented via the NFIRS program. The data is used to reliably query stats and identify trends. So as a result, we do get these kind of stats that we're showing here. So this was given to us or sent out by the San Diego unit, and it's showing here the top 6 causes of house fires. In 2021, we had over 29 million responses to all types of incidents by fire departments throughout the US. 1.1 million fire responses in the US alone, and over 3 million total incidents in California. And out of that, over 13,000 house fires were reported in California. So this is an example of some of those stats that we can use if someone needs it, or if there's something that we're trying to showcase. And other than that, that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, we are here to answer those.
Thank you, Chief. So if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and raise your hand and you will be unmuted. Give it a couple of seconds. Okay, well, not seeing any hands. This was a quick one. So thank you, Chief and staff, for being here. This was a wonderful presentation. And if you have any additional questions, Chief Moreland's contact information is right there on the screen, as well as where you can find additional resources within this program. Give it a couple more seconds. Okay, not seeing any hands. Thank you, Chief. So
You're welcome.
now,
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we will turn it over to our upcoming webinars. So please join us 2 weeks from today to discuss strategic fire plan and unit fire plans on the 27th. That's going to be a great presentation. And yeah, we'll go ahead and end this right here. Thank you all for joining us, and we all hope you have a safe rest of your week. Thank you.
Thank you.